Hey everybody, it's been way too long. Welcome to the side thing we do, 3DMs in a Tavern. It's me, B, and with me today, as always, is-
Hi, I'm Spy.
And I'm Lance.
it's so nice to just do this again. The last two times we've had other people on with us, and we love them abundantly. But God Almighty, it's nice to just hang out.
It's the Christmas season. We don't want to hang out with any more people.
Yeah, just stay at home.
My social battery is actually not as drained as it usually is because I went to exactly one party.
You lucky
Nice.
So
son of a bitch.
So join us as we embrace the Crimbo Limbo.
Okay, sure. That's what we're calling it.
I don't know.
Yes.
But I guess we might as well just jump into it unless anyone has any opening notes.
Well, I think we should state for the record, we have sort of made ourselves a New Year's resolution to do this more often in the coming year, and we know for sure that's absolutely not going to happen, just knowing the three of us.
Yeah. It's not even just because it's the three of us. It's explicitly because we want to do it more.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
the goddess of fate is just whoever she may
We
be is
we
just
said it out loud, so it's not gonna happen.
yeah.
If we had just kept our mouths shut, it may have happened. But we said it out loud, so sorry about that.
We jinxed ourselves. It's fine.
But if they give us if we get a New Year's pass on our jinx, then maybe we'll have some cool folks on in the future. But for now, we're gonna kick back.
How many New Year's passes do we get? Just asking for a friend.
I hope it's more than the one because I think we've used the one on the worst of possible. Okay, so I'm gonna go down the list of pins.
Yep, we've got a whole bunch of questions from all the folks in the
Maybe it's because we
Starhopper
haven't
Discord.
done this in God knows how long.
Yeah, fucking forever.
So the backlog is there, just glaring at us, and it's time we clear up house before the new year.
I'm not ready.
But
Honestly, are any of us ever? I mean, B and I are Boy Scouts, so technically we should be prepared. But fuck, who actually was ever prepared?
prepared is a lie that scouts tell themselves to make them feel better.
You are so right. Okay, who do we want to start with here? Should we start from the most recent or the most
Ancient.
the most ancient one? There's one in the pins here from Pixie that dates back to fucking June.
I think we gotta clear. I think we gotta clear out house. I think we gotta clear shop.
Yeah, I hope so.
So
This
let's
one is from
get
our
rid
friend
of them.
Pixie.
Let's get rid of one of the most dust bunnies.
Sorry, Pixie.
Pixie says, I've been throwing around a podcast idea. I was wondering about technical aspects, how to upload, etc. And honestly, we may have covered this before and just forgotten to unpin it, but it's always good to get a refresher.
Yeah, I think to in brief. Well, I can't speak for everybody, you know, and I will say this like flat out. I am not the most tech savvy. I know someone who really is, my friend Snow. So maybe in the future I can get them to actually explain shit. But for now, I'll just say we use Craig to record, use Audacity to edit, and then you have a podcast host where you can upload the file and take care of business. If you have you pay someone else to do it for you.
It really depends on the type of podcast you're planning on. Like, I'm assuming it's an actual play podcast because that's sort of what we're all here for. In that case, what I've done in the past and what I should do in the future, once I actually get my thoughts together. Actually, that reminds me, I've got big thoughts about a one shot. Remind me to talk to you guys about that later. Anyway,
Okay.
what I've been doing.
On or off recording.
Not sure.
Okay.
I'll decide later.
Okay.
Anyway,
I meant like, do you want me to remind you in the episode, or do you want me to remind you when we're done rolling?
I will remind you in the
Um,
episode before we leave, before we
Yeah.
sign out. I will
Before,
just be
yeah.
like, "Yo, spy."
Okay, cool. Thanks,
Yeah,
Lance.
and then I'll decide. Anyway, so what I did in the past was I found out that Craig does not like or did not like my recording for some reason, and it would cut off bits of words, which was very annoying. Which is why we did the test session, is to figure that out. So what I did was I had Craig recording, but I actually had Audacity recording me as well on my computer, so it was localized and wasn't going through Discord, which, as we all know, sort of mangles the audio quality.
A little bit, yeah.
So if you can actually get all of your players to record themselves on Audacity and just use Craig's recording for syncing it up, you can get the maximum audio quality possible. It may be challenging depending on the length of your episodes for your players to get those recordings to you, but there's always like Google Drive, and if you have the patience, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, see, I have the patience. That's how we do it. We all get on Google Hangouts because Skype hates our guts and Discord hates us even more. And we record separate audio on Audacity. We put it in the drive. And then I pray to the gods and sit there at my desk for 13 hours straight and try and sync it all up together.
Fair. I think that's a substantial answer to the question.
Yeah.
So as for uploading, you have to have a host. 1 second.
Podbean.
Podbean's
We use Podbean, and we have it set up that when we publish an episode on Podbean, it will automatically go to iTunes, YouTube, iHeartRadio, everywhere that we have officially been accepted. So we don't have to go to each website and put it in, which is really nice.
Oh, it's okay. I need to vent half a second here because I love Podbean, but they made a big choice, and I'm not here for it. And it's the YouTube upload only every 7 days.
Yeah, so we actually we took ourselves off of YouTube. Which is a very sad choice for now, because of with the whole child stuff going on and everything. It was just not worth the
YouTube's
hassle.
a mess. I've heard there's
YouTube's
alternatives
a
to
disaster.
YouTube that are popping up, like what's that one? I think
Vimeo's coming back.
Vimeo, yeah, or Fruit Lab, I think, is another one that I've heard of. It's kind of obscure.
Yeah.
I don't know much about it, but that's a name I've heard tossed around. I actually am not. I looked into Podbean, but I went the route of actually getting my own site to host. And actually, what I found out was if you make a site through Squarespace, and actually, come to think of it, I think I need to make sure that my URL sub is renewed. But it's like $100 a year for one URL, and you can use that site to host all of your podcasts because they actually have built-in audio hosting support, and you can use your Squarespace site as your host RSS for like iTunes and Spotify.
Huh.
So that's how I put up Starhopper, and that's how I was planning to put up Escape Artists until I came to the unfortunate acknowledgement that Escape Artists needs a lot of concept polishing before we can actually continue.
Yeah.
So, Squarespace.
I think that's a substantial answer to the question.
Yeah.
Yep, I hope that answers your question, Pixie.
And if not, just ask us again, and we'll get back to it in a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of different options out there.
All right, clearing that from the pinned messages.
Oh, it feels so good.
Sorry for being 6 months late, Pixie.
It's
if you
like
ask
folding
again,
my
we promise
laundry.
it'll probably only be 12. Okay.
Next up. Fuck. Getting people's characters and actual names confused. Livy, who is a player on the Frostwalkers, plays Sari, the gnome elf, half gnome.
We don't even know.
Fucking whatever.
The sweet child being that everybody loves.
Yes, correct. Who I swear, if she did not have a canonical background, would definitely be from Crundle.
Yeah.
Says, how do you practice character voices, and how do you pick one that fits?
Practice.
Yeah, honestly, the character voices are just fucking made up on the fly. I have about, I don't know, 5 accents that I can do and like 3 different pitches, and that's about it.
Yeah, see, that's what mine is I try and come up with character voices, and then I actually get to the NPC and I panic. So they're either Western, British, or some crazy old man. Those are like my 3 character voices. That is it.
I don't trust them folks from Salem. They got that secret magics. That's why I got my trusty tinfoil helm.
I live in fear.
Yeah, I can do regular voice, deep voice, really high-pitched voice. I have the Scottish accent, Slavic accent. In various pitches, I can do Chekhov or I can do Hilbert.
B can do a really good barking dog.
Yeah, B is just fantastic at
just has that down
dog folk
so
NPCs.
well.
I can do New York. I can do goblins screaming in fear.
Spy has so many more voices than me. I'm like the beta version. You get what you get, and that's it. You have to pay for the.
If Snow wants a guest player for AOD Doggies for Missing Role Player Found, I think Sadie would really be into it.
I mean, I can also do like kobold screaming in terror, which is
Oswald.
I think that's cheating.
Sorry, my dad got a rubber chicken for Christmas, and we've had way too much fun with it. Anyway.
I am severely sorry, Star, for calling you out so hard.
Oh. So, in short, the answer is we don't practice character voices.
We just do
I don't think any of us practice character voices. We just wing it.
I try when I'm yelling at Kaz.
I mean, that's fair. Like, whenever I get angry, I slip into Scottish for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah,
Scottish is not in my bloodline.
It's usually the angry old man, but, you know.
You darn kids, get off my property.
It's more of the, hey, make me a sandwich.
Oh, it's Frank.
Yeah, it's Frank. I usually slip into, the Frank accent and demeanor when I'm hungry.
Good.
He's just hangry all the time.
Good.
I actually, speaking of hangry all the time, I'm not hangry all the time, but I am hungry all the time, and I've gained a reputation among my friends at uni for just, like, having food on me at all times. Like,
that's not a bad thing.
Wherever I go, I'll be like, anyone hungry? And I'll pull out, like, a stack of cookies I've filched from the dining hall, or, like, an entire slice of pie, or just something. Like, the 3rd time I did it at a group project meeting, I just, like, pulled out an entire burger from my backpack, and they're all staring at me. I'm like, what? How do you always have food on you? Listen, in this one aspect, I'm consistently prepared.
I will say that in the next couple months, I'm a little worried about my NPC voices, since I'm starting T tomorrow.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
I was thinking about this last night, and actually I saw this question, and I was like, well, shit. My voice is going to change.
Here's the solution. Every character in the universe is trans. There you go.
There we go. That's,
everyone.
Yeah.
Only introduce trans NPCs for the remainder.
Only trans NPCs. Yes.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Question.
I think that covers it. Yeah. Livy, you're good.
Yeah, do whatever.
Just wing it. It's fine.
Whatever voice comes out when you start that NPC is that character's voice.
It's not,
that's it.
Just do it.
Actually, come to think of it, before we move on, I want to mention, first off, let me give a shout out to Tales of the Voidfarer. It's a new podcast that came out recently, and DB.
Spelljammer.
Yeah. It's Spelljammer from 2E, but in 5E mechanics, and it's really, really good. It's basically Treasure Planet in space, and I fucking love it. But the DM,
Yes.
he has exactly 2 voices that he does for all the characters, and it's so funny. Like when he points it out himself, he's like, "Well, I can either do Scottish or I can do a regular voice," and it just like you're fine. It's fine. Like as long as we know there are other ways to tell which character is what other than like actual tone and accent. Like you can have like speech patterns. Like you can give them a lisp or a specific
A stutter?
a stutter, yeah. Like or a specific verbal tick like I'm doing right now. Specific non-fluencies they default to, like or something like, you know,
We're gonna
like
spend the
or
next 10 minutes of audio making random sounds, and it's gonna be such high tier quality content that they're gonna make us. They're gonna put us in a room and make us do more.
Mhm.
That's pretty much all my podcast is.
Also, if you can do it, do not be afraid to unleash your Muppet voice.
Oh yes, everyone loves the Muppet voice.
I have been murdered. Okay. Whew.
So's my throat. Fuck. I forgot I had a fucking cave of phlegm back there, and that attempting Kermit just like, oh, that was not fun.
So
do not attempt Muppet voice when you're sick. It's not fun.
Ugh.
Okay, I think that covers that question pretty thoroughly. Maybe a little overkill.
Next question.
I got this one. Okay, Shay asks, how do you choose a last name for your RPG character that doesn't make them sound like a warrior cat OC?
You don't, coward.
This is such a specific problem. And I love it. Last names are like simultaneously so unnecessary and also like so cool.
Yeah,
now,
I mean, you can name your character John Smith for all anyone cares.
If their last name is Steve, you'll be...
Yeah. Like if you want a sick name, then you're gonna end up with something that sounds like a warrior cat OC. That's kind of unavoidable in D&D, honestly.
Here's the thing. If you give an NPC a last name, or any character a last name, you are required by law to give them some sort of backstory, which means then they are your child, which means then they are yours to protect for life, which is why I have over 99 OCs for D&D, because I've given them all last names. So, proceed with caution.
I mean,
usually we don't.
That's fair. But also, if you just give them a sick first name, you're like, oh, well, I have to use this character now. Like, fucking an old OC of mine, his name is Torch. Literally, that's his name. He doesn't even have a last name. His name is just Torch. He's a pyromaniac.
Only cowards have last names.
Only...
Got interrupted by a phone call. Yay.
Welcome back, B.
Thank you.
We were talking about if you give a character a sick name, you have no choice but to use them.
It's true. But I think needing a last name isn't that big of a deal. Frankly, just look up last names, find one that isn't Warrior Cat OC, and just... Okay, I'm sorry. I have to say this. Not every character name has to be super deep.
Like John Smith.
Yeah.
Actually,
because
no,
you know
he was a dangerous colonist.
Because this character's parents aren't thinking about, oh, their personality is this and their character trait. No, they don't know. They're a baby.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like fucking your name is Akio Nguyen. That's your given name, you know? You get the title of fucking Brightheart or whatever later, once you've proven yourself to be a Brightheart or, you know, whatever.
Yeah,
that is a warrior cat. That's how warrior cats get their names. I'm not joking.
Oh, this is a fun one, actually. In older editions, there was like a list of titles that you could give your party. And my favorite, because it's so funny, is the title of Dragon's Bane is given the first time the party kills a dragon. And so, what's hilarious to me about this, some DM somewhere went, shit, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons, and they've killed a dragon. What else is there to do? And they had to come up with a special title for the party to show they did it. They did the thing the game has in the box.
Well, they did half of the game.
Yeah.
They got to do the dungeons next.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Although
all there is.
in modern day, I feel like D&D stands less for Dungeons and Dragons and more for dick jokes and daddy issues.
It's true. But
Yeah.
yeah, but no.
I think I've called out about 98% of our listeners.
It's true. I will say.
I think we just lost 98% of our listeners.
Yeah.
All 4 of them.
I will say this. just to wrap it up. A family last name, by and large, is significantly less. I'm sorry, it's just truth.
Significantly less what?
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. I mean, to be fair, now I will recount this. This was a story from summer camp, so buckle up, kids, because I met a kid with the coolest fucking name I have ever heard in my life. It's on a real person, and his name was Zane Lionheart.
Whoa!
I swear to God, that's an anime protagonist name. I don't even like anime, but that's fucking sick. I've never seen him again.
What color was his hair?
What?
What color was his hair?
It took me a second to process. Jet black, actually.
Oh, so he's the emo killed his parents protagonist that has to find himself through a journey.
I would assume. Zane, if you are by some fluke listening, you still have the sickest name I've ever heard on any list, and we're pretty sure you would not kill your parents.
Yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. We're just going by anime rules, buddy.
Yeah. Okay, so before we move on to the next question, I want to do a little experiment with you guys. Because I think I want to try this segment. Because
Good news, everyone! We're doing science!
So, we had like 2 or 3 possibilities for different segments we want to try. And I think I'm gonna let Spy take the first one because he has promised. Would you like to say the title you've been flaunting to us over and over?
Okay, so I have a tag on my Tumblr that I use to sort my reblogs and posts, and it is called, and I'm quoting here, "Absolutely horrible D&D ideas that I must try out ASAP." So this week's absolutely horrible D&D idea that I must try out ASAP is the fucking speed limit.
Good.
So I did some research on this. So this is the post that started it by user Jesus Body Pillow.
Of course.
Found out today that a level 18 Tabaxi monk under the effects of a haste spell wearing boots of speed and using feline agility and then using both action haste action to dash combined with step of the wind bonus action dash can technically move 1,920 feet per round. That is 218 miles per hour. I'm getting nauseous just thinking about it. And there's a GIF here of it's moving very fast, but I think it's Sonic. I hope to God it's Sonic. The alternative is too horrible to consider. And then I did some research, and there's actually a page on the official D&D wiki about pushing the speed limit.
Wait, when you say official D&D wiki,
it is the D&D homebrew wiki, dndwiki.com, pushing the speed limit.
We're in for a fun time.
Oh my God, this thing is so long, so I will not get into it. But essentially, what you can do is, if you build your character and your party, specifically your party as well, exactly right, you can achieve a theoretical upper speed limit of 253,440 feet in one round.
Good.
That is 28,800 miles per hour. That is higher than Earth's escape velocity. You can fucking launch yourself into orbit and then out of orbit in one round.
Okay, so
Yes.
why does traveling take so dang long? Just send the monk to go get the thing, and we'll just wait here and have tea time.
They'll Naruto run.
If we Naruto run, we can move faster than their magic missiles. So this build is incredibly specific. You have to have. I mean, there's a giant list here. B, if you could put the link in the show notes when we're done. There's a giant list here, but basically you have to have 10 levels of monk, 5 levels of barbarian, 2 levels of blade singer, and 1 level of mystic. You also have to have the mobile feat, the long strider spell, a level 20 druid friend to boost you with the spell, level 1 artificer minimum, who's an alchemist,
and a very cool dungeon master.
Yes, a level 6 wizard transmuter, several magic items, several actions, several racial bonuses, and a very chill DM who is okay with letting you game-breaking bullshit. However,
in a pear tree.
there is... Hold on, I need to fucking recover from that.
How long were you wanting to say that, B? Just how long?
A while. There is a hack that will let you just get to theoretically infinite speed. It's called the railgun. Let me reiterate. It is called the railgun. How this works, and I'm reading for the page here. How this works is that you decide upon how many ally NPCs you want. For the purpose of this, let's make sure that everyone is strong enough to carry and pass along a gnome with ease. And there are an unlimited or an arbitrarily large quantity of these strong people. What we do next is line up all of these NPCs so they are all within 5 feet of each other, which forms a one-way path. Each of these NPCs will take the ready action, and the trigger for the action is that a gnome will be passed along to them, and a specific action is taken is that the gnome will be passed along to the next person. And now all this chain reaction needs is for the gnome to climb on top of an NPC on one end. That NPC will pass the gnome onto the next person, and that person will do the same, and so on. Because there are no written limits on how many reactions can be taken in one round, the gnome will be passed along the entire chain of NPCs within that one round, covering 5 feet per NPC used in the process. Theoretically, you could attain an infinite speed by just getting passed along railgun style on top of these NPCs. You could reach the speed of light.
So what you're saying is, if everyone joins together, we can send a gnome in the next dimension.
Yes, that's exactly what you can become fucking Barry Allen in D&D if you really want to and have enough NPCs to help you.
And thus shows the power of friendship.
Oh, that was good.
So, this is the absolutely horrible D&D idea that I want to try as soon as fucking possible.
Does this have anything to do with the one shot you were telling me?
Not yet, it didn't.
Okay.
Not until you said those words.
Well, shit.
Apologize for trying to have...
No. This one shot may actually have an actual railgun, like an actual technological, launch a fucking ball of tungsten at Mach 212
Good.
Railgun.
Okay, so I'll course correct. Livy again with, how do you feel as a DM when a player flirts with an NPC?
Oh god, didn't we cover this in episode 1?
And 3, because Luke needed our help.
God.
I think in brief, I don't care. I don't care. I'll go along with it. Just don't push it.
Yeah, obviously. Like, if you're a fucking horny bard, I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself. But if you're forming a genuine connection with this NPC, Like hell, I'm gonna stop you. Go for it.
It might become my new OTP.
Yeah. Like Andre and Will.
Yeah.
Long story short, it's fine as long as you're not just being a bastard.
Exactly. Just so long as there's an actual connection there, and it's cool and everyone's chill. You also have to have a lot of trust in your players.
Yeah, obviously.
Any other caveats? Or did we hit the nail here?
I think we just hit it on the head. I mean,
okay, cool. Awesome. I don't think I think that might be the fastest we've answered a question. Good job.
God, I fucking hope so. Also, did you move the road? Oh no, never mind.
No. Okay. Somebody who runs Founders of Reka, hi somebody, asks, how do you feel when a PC interrupts the big bad speech that you prepared? Is it fair to do some creative trickery to still finish?
Yes.
Here's the thing. If your DM is a long-winded blowhard and has a 20-minute speech prepared for the baddie, I can understand if you want to just get it over with. Because at a certain point, long-winded speeches are just too long-winded and need to be cut off. Especially if the big bad guy starts repeating themselves. Especially if the big bad guy starts repeating themselves. Especially if the big bad guy starts repeating themselves.
I hate you!
Okay, yeah, we're gonna just
The first time I was gonna let it pass! No, fuck it!
I couldn't resist making it. Anyway. As the DM, I feel you have an obligation to not let this... if you want to say a cool couple of lines, or, give a motive... on the one hand... The villain giving the heroes everything they need to stop the plan just out of pure hubris, or I don't know, is very cheesy and honestly just bad tactics. But on the other hand,
it's funny.
It's kind of funny. It's fun and also funny if you do it right.
See, if you make the villain comical, then do that because everyone.
You know what's even funnier is if you make the villain comical enough to continue the speech while the players are beating their ass.
Yes.
I want to see that happen.
You gotta think of it like a movie. If your protagonists are facing off against the big bad evil guy, and the big bad evil guy is sitting there for 25 minutes giving a speech, it gets a little old.
Yeah, you're gonna lose your players that way. You're gonna look over and they're checking Twitter.
Can we set a number? Because I think if you go over 5 minutes, you're in.
Not even 5 minutes. I would say 3 minutes max. 5 minutes absolute max.
5 minutes. 5 minutes if you let. Okay, here's my thing. 3 minutes straight monologue. 5 if you let it become. Actually, no. I need to say this. Villain monologues are overrated. Let it become a conversation. Then it's.
Yeah, if your villain and your heroes are having a conversation, a back and forth, whether it be trading insults or just the classic, I tell you the plan, you tell me how you're going to stop me, and blah blah blah, going around in circles. That could be fun, but
depending on how cocky your villain is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There's a ton of factors that go, but on the whole, I think if your party is interrupting, there's a difference. You can feel the vibe. There's a vibe when your party is doing it to say fuck you. There's a vibe when the party's doing it because get on with it.
Right.
You can read the room on that vibe. If it's the first one, you have full license to do some creative bullshit back because they did bullshit to you.
Right.
Because then that might just be the way it goes with you. You know what I mean?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, if you have some sort of big bad evil guy that you have this big plan for, okay, no spoilers, but I have a big bad evil guy who has some crazy shit that's gonna go down soon. You can always record something to put at the end.
Yep, that's what I did for That's what I did at the end of the
like what
R3
I did with Zakaria.
Yeah.
I didn't tell my players about that. Like, they had no idea until I posted the episode that was...
I know, because I broke to DB and Avon, and they lost their shit.
Yeah.
I broke the...
So, I mean, if you have a big, bad, evil scene that you want to do that presents this big, bad, evil guy in a way that you could do it without the players, record it and put it at the end. Like, or put it in the middle. Like, you can have it as a separate scene.
And if you're a home game, I think this still applies. Because picture this. Your party's not in the game, doing whatever they're doing, going grocery shopping, taking a dump, whatever their life is. And then they get a text. And it's an audio without a title. And they click it. And they hear the big bad evil guy. That's going to send visceral down there.
Oh, absolutely. Bad. That's just pure fear.png.
Yeah.
Like, dude,
so I mean, you can definitely have that evil speech in a way that your players will not interrupt. But you definitely don't want to have the 20-minute speech. If they do interrupt, you've got to go with it. You got to just adapt and find a way to get all your points in a shorter, more fun way for your players.
And I will end this question with a quote.
Well,
you had me monologuing again.
You sly dog. Well, before you end that, I also just want to say, and this is a call out to some DMs in the room, please also keep in mind what time it is and how your players are feeling as humans. Because if you're starting a 10-minute monologue and it's 3 a.m, your players are just going to cut you off without a second thought because they want to be done.
Yeah.
Very true.
So is it other segment time? There's only 2 questions left on the thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, I'm gonna talk to you guys a little bit about r/RPG horror stories. It's a subreddit.
Boy.
It's a subreddit that exists and, well, has RPG horror stories written by the community. I have decided to see how this goes, for I have found one of moderate size. I purposely looked in the short to medium tags. So this one is of moderate size, titled Uncreative GM Railroads Party to Insane Copyright Infringing Nonsense by u/Cuddlefist. This happened a few years ago. My wife and I were looking to play a Pathfinder game, and a coworker of mine mentioned that a guy he knew was seasoned DM and wanted to start a campaign. The group got together. I'm skipping over a bit of a paragraph here. So the group gets together, and the first thing they're told is, you are members of the, don't remember the name, Ninja Clan. What? We all ask, not informed of this at all. We start scrambling to wrap our concepts into the ninja base. This is a direct quote from the subreddit, by the way. Today is the final day of your training. You 3 and your fellow student Aladdin. Aladdin? Oh yeah, that Aladdin.
Oh, I don't like where this is going.
Oh yeah. You 4 are stripped of all your gear, and you must now only fight in hand-to-hand combat. None of us are have unarmed combat ability. As an alchemist without my bombs or mutagens, I was completely defenseless, but rolled my eyes and hoped we'd have something. The fight continues, and I'm going to go back to our quote. Aladdin is never heard from again. Then he moves us on to our graduation, and we're taken by our trainer Wolverine out to a private island to a party to celebrate. And yes, it was that Wolverine.
Oh no.
So I'm not going to read the rest of it because it is of moderate size, but highlights include they end up in the Matrix. I shit you not. This grown-ass adult man just had Wolverine plug all of us into the Matrix to have our skills upgraded. This was when we swapped to our level 5 sheets, after not actually getting to play with our level 1 characters.
Oh no.
I should mention that every time he dropped some facepalm-inducing cringe, he would sit back and nod slowly with this knowing grin, like he was just thinking, oh, fuck yeah, that's cool as shit, and I just blew your minds every time. We exit the Matrix, are dropped off in the middle of nowhere, and seek instructions to head for a nearby Tabaxi village and seek out Garfield for guidance.
Honestly, though, if you took that out of context, and if I was playing a home game and my DM told us to go fucking find Garfield, I would legitimately lose my shit. That is some funny stuff. But after all of that, like, if you're going to tell us to go find Garfield the fucking deals Warlock, hell yeah! But after fucking getting our asses beat by Aladdin and being plugged into the Matrix, it's not as funny anymore.
Your guide NPC.
Oh my god.
B, I do not appreciate you calling out my high school fan fiction addiction this way. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to quit 3DMs.
Fair. We are okay. I'm gonna read.
Hey! At least it wasn't fucking Warrior Cats.
I'm gonna read one more paragraph. I've cut a little bit of context, but we arrive just in time for the hand member. Yes, that hand, who is revealed to be. How do I say these next two words? I'm just gonna close my eyes. Who's revealed to be Bruce Wayne? Yeah, their boss battle was Batman, who was a spellcaster.
What?
I had to kill Batman.
I don't understand. At this point, I'm far too afraid to ask.
I am not drunk enough for this.
Oh, RPG horror stories. The worst part about you is that you're real.
Oh.
Thanks.
I will not continue.
I hate it.
Because it is of moderate size. But that is a genuine campaign someone had to suffer through. Cuddle Fist, we're sorry.
Bruh.
If you need support, we are here for you. Ow, cat.
Dude.
Yikes.
We and Wolverine are here for you, pal.
Do you think that this man can never watch like anything ever again? Like he goes to a new movie theater and just like, oh, John Wick Chapter 3, don't mind if I do. Then he gets a text from his DMs crying.
Listen, real shit, I hope that didn't ruin anything for you. That's just cruel, frankly.
Yeah. We goof, but losing luster and things is sad. See, RPG horror stories is dangerous waters, and I knew that going into the segment because either they're so over the top that they borderline on the ridiculous like this, or it's like actual cases of like discrimination and real NSFW shit that should not be allowed.
Yeah.
And it's vastly the latter. So, like, to everyone who's had to write a post on RPG or horror stories, we're sorry.
We're sorry you had that experience. It's not what D&D is supposed to be. D&D is supposed to be you guys having fun.
That's not the real game of D&D. That's the off-brand.
Yes.
I will say this though. Cuddlefist, if you found some sort of visceral joy in having other people experience this nightmare that you went through, then congratulations, because you win.
Fair. Now, I should point out that yes, there are such things as bad DMs and bad players. They exist. Yeah, and if you can't find if there's a problem in your D&D group, but you can't find the bad DM or bad player, it might be you.
Yeah.
Very true.
But you know what? The savior of almost all of these stories is communication. And
Yep.
Yeah, if you have a problem with anything that the DM is putting out, or if you have a problem with any of what your players are doing, talk to them. Like, it's not going to get better if you don't just sit down and communicate. It's going to get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the basis of the entire game, is
true.
Conversation.
If you have to do it player versus NPC style, go for it. Just talk.
I will say this. I think I think the point of this segment will be to find the absurd and like the ones that can get a chuckle. Because Cuddlefist, I'm sorry that your day was probably ruined by that. But like I feel the way it's written, I feel like looking back, Cuddlefist has like some sort of like evil joy in this. And it's just like, yeah, this is a thing I experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Power to you, man. Or woman. Or
it's okay, Cuddlefist. Yeah. I hate Mondays too.
Yeah. So that was uploaded 13 days ago.
Oh, that's recent. That's fresh.
Oh, yeah. That's a fresh wound. I'm sorry I made that Garfield joke.
Well, okay. It's a fresh post. I don't know if this is a fresh experience.
God, I hope not.
I hope that you like processed it and then posted it on RPG Horror Stories after you were able to look back and laugh, because there are quite a few stories on there where it's clear that this was someone the day after a bad session and they like need a hug.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for... Let me find the title again because I think it's a work of beauty. The title itself. Cuddlefist, you are a very good writer. You had me in stitches. I had to parse some of it out for time, but it was very good. But thank you for Uncreative GM Railroads Party into Insane Copyright Infringing Nonsense.
Okay. So, these last two questions that we have sort of tie into each other. Let's see. Livia asks, how do you pick classes for NPCs, or do you even bother with that at all? And Midnight Blue of the Clarifantasia group asks, what PC classes make it difficult for you to build encounters? Is there a specific build of PC that makes combat hard to prepare for? So, talking about classes, there is a second part to Midnight's question. I think we'll get to that later.
I think it warrants a separate question, kind of.
Yeah. So, talking about classes, when picking your classes for NPCs, you just sort of, if it's like a shopkeeper NPC that you're not going to deal with much, you don't
unless you specifically want to make this shopkeeper like secretly a 20th level bard or some shit. Right. Unless that's the point.
Unless it's the point. If they're just like a regular person, you don't have to bother. Like, they wouldn't have a class. Their class would be merchant or mundane or whatever.
There was a classless class that someone found that Shay was almost going to use for Rin. And
that's kind of sad.
Yeah. She was almost going to make Rin classless, but then I argued my way into Artificer for all.
But yeah. So if you have an NPC that's like important to the plot or is specifically designed for,
right?
Yeah.
Like then, if you make an NPC who's like, this is a wizard in training, you're not going to give them a druid stat block.
No.
If like, okay, what's a good example? If you have like a NPC that's a wilderness guide, you're probably going to make them a ranger, or a druid, just because that makes the most sense.
Sorry, the word ranger elicits a.
Why? Because the fucking Power Rangers? What's on your mind here? No, you've got to say it.
No, it's because Player Handbook Rangers are grossly underpowered.
You know what? I still love my ranger. Okay, leave my rangers alone.
Hey, no,
you're valid.
Wizards has been nice enough to release like 2 ranger fixes, and they're definitely better.
Can you imagine a bug fix for a fucking tabletop game?
And it's free, and it's a piece. And it's pieces. And it's thank you, Unearthed Arcana.
They're trying.
Unearthed Arcana is a very good idea, and I hope they continue it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But also, just imagine somebody comes to your house and smashes your chessboard and then replaces it with Chess 2.0.
Do I have to pay for Chess 2.0?
Yeah. No, that's the extended chess DLC.
No, okay, because see, Unearthed Arcana is someone walking up to you and smack. No, it's not even that. It's someone like who sees you with your chessboard and goes, "Hey," and hands you chess 2 and puts it on top of your chessboard and just walks off. And they're like, "You can play it if you want."
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's I think
Weird
we've
thing.
sort of answered that question going off on a tangent there.
Also, I will throw this: if you have either if you have the book, or if you have other means of procuring the book that I won't mention, the ending of Volo's Guide to Monsters, I think, has a huge NPC section, and it's like they do like the different subclasses of Warlock, they do the different wizards, so like they do different like fighters. So there's stat blocks for them out there that exist if you don't want to go through making a character sheet for every one of your.
Another thing is, like, you don't have to give the NPCs a class right away.
Yeah.
I've had several that, like, I didn't think they were going to be very important NPCs, and they actually became pretty close to...
Are you talking specifically about Martel?
You know what? Do not fucking call me out like that, B. I do not appreciate it. Martel is my boy. He's my awkward sweet boy. Do not call him out like that.
Okay, I know. What class is the boy? Or is he classless as of now?
That's a spoiler for later.
Oh shit, I didn't realize it was important. I'm sorry. I thought it was like...
but like...
you were gonna say like the okay.
Okay, so to be honest, Martel does get a class, but originally he did not have a class.
He was just a guy.
Because he was just a guy. He was an NPC. He was a quartermaster of the Dominion. Really didn't matter all that much. Like, he helped with the mission.
7 episodes on the Dominion.
We don't talk about those 7 episodes, okay? That was supposed to be a 1 to 2 episode like thing.
I'm still in the middle of it, frankly.
You telling me that. I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
that was probably my favorite little arc, though, was the Dominion arc, because it was so much fun.
I love it.
But, like, you don't have to have the NPCs have a class right away. If your players get to know them and kind of flesh out the NPC a little bit more, you can give them a class later on, which can actually help progress the story and make the story more interesting later on for your players.
Yeah, and some of them... I'll also say some NPCs benefit from not having a class. Benefit from not being really pigeonholed, and the party doesn't know what they are, you know?
Oh, for sure.
For example, Basil, who showed up at Rowan's door and started explaining the Eldritch, and then walked away with a smile. And, like, everyone says, oh, they have to be a Great Old One Warlock. And I'm just like, I don't know, dude. They could just be a fighter. They could just be a fighter who just kind of reads a lot. A fighter who casually glances the Necronomicon. You don't know. If you haven't seen Basil cast Eldritch Blast, you don't know if he's a warlock. Anyway. I'm gonna just go find his character sheet for 10th level Warlock and change it. Anyway.
I think that covers it for that question.
Yeah. Second part of Midnight. Oh, I think Midnight's thing is like what player classes are just...
Yeah, this deals with player classes. So what player classes make it difficult for you to build encounters? Is there a specific build of PC that makes combat hard to prepare for? What are some pitfalls you run into trying to build combat encounters? Right.
I don't think a specific class is to blame. I don't think I can say it's all rogues. Rogues are the worst, and they're the reason I can't have cool fights. I can't say that because that's not true.
You just have to build around your players. Like understand the way that when you're starting out, you may have to like just throw some random stuff at them. Like have a general idea of like what they'll be up against, but like throw some random stuff at them, see how they fight, what their tactics are, and then from there you can more effectively build your encounters.
And guess what? That is something a bad guy would do in a story like that.
That's true too. Yeah, your big bad evil guy, if there is, I mean, like, you know,
They don't have to.
Yeah, some campaigns don't even have a specific bad guy. Some campaigns are a massive fetch quest. Some are fighting against corporations. Some are, you know, whatever. If you have a villain, that is something that a smart villain would do, is test them and then either, you know, just continue to throw stronger stuff at them, or make the enemies that they're facing more intelligent and clever, or just have them be magic breaking or whatever, you know. Figure out how your party fights and then build around that.
My favorite use of this in fiction, in like pre-existing storytelling that I can remember, is Star Wars: The Clone Wars, which is a weird thing to go off of, but hear me out. Like, you know, the first couple episodes, they have the regular battle droids who are purposely stupid, you know?
Right.
They have the ones from the movies. And then, like, episode 4, they introduced these things called the commando droids, which were built specifically because the Separatists saw that the battle droids were shit. And then, like, 2 seasons later, they come out with these tactical droids who are supposed to be better, like, leaders and stuff like that. As the seasons progress, the droid quality gets better in the story. It's mentioned.
Right.
And, like, to me, that's awesome. That's such a good use of, like, how the Separatist droid army could work. It makes sense, you know? And then, of course, the obvious answer of, like, well, then why are the battle droids still there? Why do goblins still exist? Because someone needs to do it.
Yeah, you need fodder. You need fucking cannon fodder.
And it makes sense that they're programmed stupidly because they cost more money to make them smart.
You see, that's how the Bryce Sanctum does it.
Yeah. I don't know, dude.
You never want to meet the A Squad. Let's just say that.
I just want to say this, just wanted to say, because I was rewatching the Clone Wars recently for reasons. And and I was just like, this is actually a really cool way to handle, like, the story needing to have higher stakes, because it makes sense that the bad guys would do this.
Right. Yeah, no, that I think you can...
Weird comparison, but you can...
It's an apt comparison, I'd say.
Yeah. Then, like, in one of the last seasons, they built, like, this ultimate commander who managed, in the fiction, to survive into Rebels, and he was mentioned in Star Wars Rebels. So, like, there were consequences to building. I liked it. There was a lot of thought put into consequences of raising the stakes in the Clone Wars. So I liked that a lot.
I will answer the question of what class it is difficult to build an encounter for, and that is all of them when they fucking split the party. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Nora.
If we're going to talk individual classes, I guess, I will say, if I have to pick my top 3 classes that are, like, a nightmare to one-on-one, Rogue is one of them. Rogue is a nightmare to 1v1.
Yeah.
Because you walk the fine line of having your enemies be underpowered or one-shot KOing your player.
Exactly. And then the other one, even though it's not official yet, I still have hope. I mean, it took them so long to make Artificer official. They just did it in Eberron. But I have hope for its black sheep brother. Come on, Watsy, give the Mystic some love. I will admit, it's a hard class to work, and it's a hard class to 1v1 because there's so many options. But come on, just give it another chance. Pigeonhole the Mystic a little bit, because God, the intelligence stat, needs something else to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, psionics are just cool. They're just cool.
Yeah. I also want to point out that Artificer can be very broken in a very fun way. Yes. As long as you and your DM are both cool with it. And of course, I'm talking about my own homebrew creation, Jerry. All right. Tangent here. I made a goblin for one shot, and his name is Jerry Rigg. He is what he likes to call a fix-it wizard. He is an artificer, but he doesn't have much of the actual artificer. Like, he has some of the artificer abilities, but he doesn't have any of the artificer spells. His only spell is something that I made up, and it's called Fix This, or as he
and
says,
I
fix this.
And it's accepted because Halloween.
So, fix this is essentially like Wish, except it operates on the rule of humor. You can, with fix this, you can alter reality, but you have to roll a d100 to determine how reality is fixed. And it's up to the DM and you to figure out what that means. And the only rule is it has to be funny. So like if you are on the edge of a chasm, an unpassable chasm, and you need to get across, and you cast fix this, a bridge does not appear. You don't get a magic carpet. No, the ground fucking snaps back together. That's how it's fixed. Because you're fixing it. You're not like producing a solution. You're not building a solution. You're fixing the problem that is already there.
However it may be fixed.
Can
I just... You just put a quote in Minor Pavilion recent when we played that is... B voicing a skeleton whose tomb Jerry just fixed.
Oh, God.
Smiling. Thanks for dealing with these pesky teenagers. I'm the ghost of a boomer, Jerry.
Unfix this! I will never forget the exact cadence he used. I'm the ghost of a boomer! There was just palpable fear in all of us.
I'm so happy because it's just fix this as a little slice of crundle. That's all it is.
Yeah, so that is the compromise that I made with this. Is that is the only spell outside of cantrips that he will ever get. It's just fix this. That is the only spell he knows how to do, and he's perfectly okay with that. So,
that is amazing.
In short, you can make shit as broken as you want, as long as you work with your DM, and your DM is cool with it, and you both agree like to use it when it's appropriate to use.
Right. I would say this. Jerry is the character that's perfect for like, hey guys, it's Halloween. Let's do something fun. He's not the character you want to progress to level and then like have a deep emotional connect. You know what I mean?
Right. He's a shitpost character.
He is. You know what? He's perfectly valid the way he is.
But see,
I specialize in making shitpost characters, like that fucking Doar druid of the coast that I made up.
Yeah. What were you gonna say though, Lance?
Like even the lovable ones you can make broken and still have fun. I actually have an artificer, Verdun, who he managed to make his beast, but anything else he makes, there is a time limit. And it will explode.
Yes.
Unwillingly. Like, he does not want it to explode, but it will explode. So it's fun to kind of give your characters those broken quirks to their classes sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I think the game itself is pretty nice in allowing that kind of stuff to happen. You know what I mean? It's fluid enough that kind of stuff can flourish.
I.e. breaking the speed limit.
Exactly. But I think... stop me. Move on to the next part of Midnight's question, because I feel a rant on why was an artificer in the Guildmaster's Guide coming on.
Next question.
I think we've pretty much... okay. What are some pitfalls you run into trying to build combat encounters? And I will say, I haven't really built a whole lot of combat encounters, so I'll let you guys take the steering wheel on this one.
I think the only thing I have to say is sometimes you build like a unique mechanic into a monster or a fight, and then the trigger doesn't happen, and then you feel like a little upset because it's like, damn it. I thought for sure the specific event would happen because this is exactly what my party would do. Your party are human beings.
Right. You can't always exactly predict what your party is going to do.
Right. For example, I in the arc finale, the fight against the God, I forgot what the title was. The Inquisitor Sphinx. That's what the Order Behemoth was called. The Inquisitor Sphinx and Frederick. Thank you, Lauren, for letting me rail on Mayumi's brother again. But in that fight, the thing about the Inquisitor Sphinx was it was a support monster. Frederick was a necromancer, but he had stuff like Finger of Death and everything, you know?
Aye.
And the Inquisitor Sphinx was lined up with stuff like Zone of Truth, which is a weird thing, but if the party fails it, they might not see it coming, and then they have to be really sure about what they say when Frederick starts talking to them.
Right.
Or, like, the monster had life transfer because it was designed to keep the necromancer going.
Okay. All right. I'll be right back.
Fair, because
no.
I thought my party.
Hold on, B.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I just got up to I just like moved my foot to get up, stand up, and mute, and my foot stepped on the chicken. I feel like I've just stepped on a landmine, and as soon as my foot lifts off of this thing, it's going to explode.
You will be missed.
You will be missed.
It's been an honor. Love you, boys.
well, he was throw out there. To finish my point, what I suspected would happen. The party would see giant scary monster, throw a few passes at it, realize it's port, and then go for the necromancer after a few Fingers of Death and stuff had been cast, you know?
Yeah.
What happened was everyone went, hey, that necromancer is kind of scrawny, and he's acting super tough. Let's kick his ass first to deal with the giant sphinx. Didn't see it coming.
Sometimes, like, even just random encounters, sometimes you can't plan for it. Like, a little bit of spoilers, the group finds themselves, like, in the sewers.
Oh.
Trying to hide from Gabriel.
Oh.
Things don't, like, everything was going great until they weren't.
Yeah, that's how it is. I thought you were going to talk about our good friend, the oh shit Scorpion.
No, that one was planned. I was going to have that happen no matter what. They were going to...
The oh shit Scorpion must now be its official title.
The oh shit Scorpion, yeah. The shiny rock oh shit Scorpion. Yeah, it's like even the Icons episode. Yeah. Like, I wasn't expecting them to have to fight the bandits too. Like, their roles will change everything. Like, their roles and their actions change everything that you did. When I first started 20-Sided Adventures, I would write 4 to 5 pages for each episode in, like, full story format. Now I have, like, 4 or 5 bulletins, and I just go off of that, because...
Hell yeah. Welcome to the club.
I've learned...
It's kind of the magic of the game.
I've grown as a DM, and I've stopped planning shit, because...
I've grown as a DM, and I stopped giving shit.
Yeah. Yep. That is the magic of the game, really.
There are even times where my players, Shay, will be like, but that fight seemed really easy. Like, and I'm like, fuck, dude, it had 350 hit points. I buffed it up 20 hit points. What do you want from
You see, sometimes I do the opposite. They're like, wow, that kicked our ass. I'm like, you should have seen it before I nerfed it.
Yeah.
You're lucky. You're welcome.
Yeah, I've done that too.
But that is the thing, though. Like,
weird when people tell me, like, you know, we won that fight, and I kind of wish it did more damage. And I went, are you joking? Because now you've put it in my head that you're a glutton for punishment, and I will.
Well, see, that's how they were for like Kaz was. They're like, we want to fight more stuff, and then I brought some more stuff, and they're like, wow, that hurt, and I'm like, well, like, you wanted it, like. You asked for more fights.
Asked me. How dare you jettison my gift?
Just because you flirt with pirates for 7 episodes doesn't mean you're going to level up. I'm sorry.
And that's another thing, though, is like, when you're in an encounter, there's literally nothing stopping you as the DM to change things on the fly. Like, if your players are demolishing something that you thought was going to take, like, 20 minutes, and they almost got it killed in 5, there is literally nothing stopping you except for ethics,
your own conscience.
Yeah, except for morality.
Players.
There's nothing stopping you aside from, morality from, boosting it a bit. Or if your players are getting their asses handed to them by something that you may be too high level for them, you can just nerf it in combat, and you can say, okay,
I will not.
Sorry, go ahead.
I will not lie. I've definitely fudged some rolls and said that it didn't save on certain things if it did.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Because great thing about an audio medium, you can lie about your rolls.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Fudging rolls may suck, and it does, but when it's for the sake of everyone's peace of mind, then sometimes you gotta bend.
Yeah. Fudging rolls to be a badass character all the time, be a fucking murder hobo because you're a narcissistic player. That's not cool. Fudging rolls to keep your players alive? That's cool. Fudging rolls if it's a very important story moment for your character and you need a 19
Rowan
on
killing
something.
The Frostwolf.
Right. If it's an important story moment for your character, I don't think your DM is going to blame you. If they're a good DM, I don't think they're going to blame you for fudging your roll a little bit. And I try not to fudge mine too much either. If I got a 15 and I need a high roll, I'm going to say, okay, I got a 17.
Yeah. The DM wants just as good a story as you guys do. Again, it all comes down to communication. If you want to do something cool, talk to your DM. I'm pretty sure they're going to be like, hey, that's awesome. Or if not, they're going to work it out with you to try and make it awesome.
Exactly. Okay, I think we thoroughly answered that question through our many tangents, and I believe we have one more section planned. B, if you want to read our bad homebrew for the week.
Because I have one question from another server that I took that's super nice, and I think a nice way to end it. But firstly, the D&D wiki, the D&D homebrew wikia. Oh, you are a hot mess.
Oh, it's so fucking magical.
The only place where you can find how to play a Saiyan, the same place that you can find how to play the Master Chief.
Or and Batman.
And
or
all
Thanos.
Of them and of course, all of them are written by someone under the age of 13. So today...
Under the mental age of 13, you mean?
Yeah, I have a choice. I present you with a choice. You can either hear about... These are two races, by the way. There's either the abstraction, which I would also call the living tornado, or the chicken.
Oh, we gotta do the chicken.
Chicken.
I already have the page up. Chicken.
Yeah. I don't want to read the whole page because it's a whole page, but I would like to read some excerpts of the chicken 5e race. The quote.
Hang on, let me get a pen and a pencil.
The quote is, "You don't act like other chickens do. You wear a disguise to look like human guys, but you're not a man. You're a chicken, boo."
I feel like that may have been intended to be set to song, but I don't fucking know what tune that's supposed to be.
Yeah. Chickens are tiny domesticated birds. Oh, yeah, this is just the Wikipedia page of chickens. Okay. Thought to be descended from red jungle fowl.
See, I'm reading this, and I swear to God, I accidentally read this last sentence in the physical description as chickens are capable of only brief bursts of light. You can fucking flashbang your enemies as a chicken.
The one thing to make chocobos so much worse.
Hey! If you're playing a chicken and somebody grapples you, does that mean they're choking the chicken?
Okay,
get out.
I will say a friend of mine who yesterday, so it's not really a friend. Someone from the RPG Horror Story Discord server actually threw this link my way. So thank you, random citizen, for the chicken. And they captioned it with I was playing a one-shot, and my DM offered me to play the chicken. And I was really uncomfortable about the egg laying.
Oh, beautiful.
Actually, wait, let me see if I got that right, because I just ad-libbed it, but what I remember. But DLW. I remember in the one time I was give D&D a chance, the DM was going to let me play a chicken wiki. They had a lay egg ability, and they provided the. Thank you, DLW. But yes, the chicken is a race now, and I hate that. The adventure.
Okay.
Let's be honest, chickens aren't the first race that come to mind. Think of high-flying adventure. In fact, I'd go so far as to say that your character may very well be the first chicken in history to break away from farm life. That being the case, I can only imagine why a chicken would do such a thing.
Shout out to Slackworm Comics for Janet the Chicken, who became a professional skateboarder. That is the exact image in my mind right now.
They have a dex increase of 2 and a wisdom increase of 1. They live about 11 to 14 years. They have no natural disposition. They are birds. The regular height is 10 to 14 inches.
Hold on.
Okay, no, yeah, hang on.
Birds by definition are chaotic.
Are evil. Yeah, they are fucking evil, man. Chickens are like, I think chickens are chaotic neutral, and then geese are chaotic evil.
You're correct. Yes.
I'm okay with this. Speed of a chicken is
alignment.
25 feet. Base fly speed is 10 feet. They have a peck. A secret offensive technique known only to masters of the glorious chicken race. Similar to magic missile, peck allows you to automatically hit any target for 1 point of damage. You use your claws to scratch a target for 2, negate it if it hits armor. Glide, distract, it doesn't have any languages. Here it is, lay egg. No,
I love this one.
This feature is only available to female chickens. Okay then. Once per long
Only if you're a coward.
Not with that attitude.
You're able to lay an egg, which can act as a modest-sized source of food. The egg can be fried, scrambled, hard-boiled, poached, or used to make various pastries. There are just a few ways an egg can be prepared. Talk to your DM to see what allow. If your DM is allowing you to play a chicken, I think.
Listen, if you're hold on. If you're a chicken warlock and your patron is a fiend, do you lay deviled eggs?
God damn it!
You brought this on yourselves. Listen, you pull up a fucking D&D chicken page, you know there are going to be puns made. God, this is fucking amazing. Guys, I want to play a chicken now.
The one thing I'm curious about is at the end of languages, it says you can also speak common if you can explain it to your DM in a way that makes somewhat sense. I would love for one of my players to come up and be like, okay, Lance, looky here. Here's how this is going to go. I think that would just, I would enjoy that conversation thoroughly.
God, I love the fucking bullshit that people put on the homebrew wiki. It's so amazing.
Everything, and so we're going to be doing the hi, B.
What did I miss?
Some stuff you're going to have to cut out.
Fair enough. Okay, so wrapping up the chicken segment. Could you just imagine playing a chicken?
See, that would be the most fun thing ever, because that is the character you send in first.
You're the canary, guards are like, you're a chicken.
Guards are expecting, some adventurers to come up, but all of a sudden this fucking chicken comes clucking up, and
they're just like, well, such as deviled eggs.
And then just, scratches out their eyes.
I will just say, D&D has some weird people, so this is a stretch. Let's say someone's playing a bard chicken, they're playing the stereotype bard chicken, and your DM is this abomination to God. Can you imagine being like downstairs at a table and this is happening, and then your mom calls? They're just like, "Hey, we got dinner, chicken." Oh God! Oh Christ! No.
That's when you just send a picture.
Rest, bitch.
You send them a picture of the chicken on the plate and say he's failed his death saves.
I hate that. That's cursed. That's bad.
Things went foul.
God damn you!
You're welcome.
But if your DM allows you to come back as a ghost, would that mean you're a poultrygeist? We're such bastards. Thank you guys for listening. We really appreciate it. We hope that we'll be able to do more of this soon. But until then, enjoy this hour and a half of bullshit to tide you over.
I will end with a final note. A friend of mine asked, "What was your first character?" And I think this is a nostalgic way to wrap up 2019. Aww. Just a little, like a half a second about your first character.
Oh, I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
So, my first character actually was not... Are we talking about first D&D character or first OC? Because I actually found my first OC that I ever made.
That takes precedent.
Okay. He was a prince of a dog kingdom. But he was humanoid, you know. Right. And his name was Yor. And he had blue hair and blue eyes. And he was a total dumbass. And he was a wizard. And I love him. And I actually revamped him and actually made him on D&D Beyond. So, yeah, that was my first character ever.
Good. You're king of the dogs.
Yep.
Man. I mean, my first D&D character is actually just my Tabaxi arcane trickster. Yes, my first character was a fucking Tabaxi rogue. Fucking sue me. But my first, like...
Flipping a warrior cat.
Yeah. Listen, I gave up on that after the first series, alright?
It's so much harder. That's not as fun as flipping Homestuck.
Let me tell you what is fun, though. Smokeweed is a valid warrior name.
Which you only know for scientific reasons.
Oh, purely for scientific reasons.
Only scientific reasons.
So,
sorry. My first OC, though, like, my first proper OC, I want to say, is actually a character from one of my sci-fi universes. His name is Zach. And he is an alien species of my own designing, not a fucking Na'vi. Fuck you, James Cameron, for stealing my 10-year-old's idea.
Explicitly.
Yeah, I mean, they're also not 10 feet tall.
If you look upside down and backwards in the credits of Avatar, you'll see Spy's Day.
Yeah, if you fucking play the fucking Banshee cry backwards, it's me screaming "Fuck you, James Cameron." Yeah, so he's my oldest OC that I actually have. Second oldest is actually one of my characters who is a little green man. Well, actually, he's not little or green. He's actually, well, he is green. He's lime green. He's one of those typical gray aliens, except green. And his name is Kuchi because at the time, oh god, hold on. Where's the backstory for him? Because it's a very complicated story.
The 10 second. This is the last segment of the episode version.
Yeah. Okay. So, for any of you guys, in either of you or anybody in the audience who have read Jeff Smith's Bone series, the graphic novel series, remember the rat creatures that were always following Bones around? They didn't have official names in canon, but one of them was always referring to the other one as comrade, and that one was complaining about like wanting to make them into a fucking quiche. So I named them respectively Conrad and Quitchy because I had no fucking idea how the word. And I transferred those personalities vaguely to a pair of little Martians, and that sort of evolved. Conrad doesn't exist anymore. Quitchy still does, and he is nowadays the living embodiment of the phrase Netflix and chill. So he's my second oldest OC, but Zach is the oldest.
Powerful. Absolutely moving.
Yep.
First OC is impossible for me to remember. But because I cannot go back that far.
I mean, unless we're counting imaginary friends or Lego characters, then yeah, that was.
yeah. D&D wise, my first character was actually Lucas, the human Vistani wizard. Yeah, he was my first. I made him more as a concept than a character sheet, and then I learned wizard was hard. But I did it. And then my DM was like, oh, we have a sorcerer. So I had to go back to the Lucas. And from his ashes, Lynn, my half-elf bard, that horror story. But Lucas and Lynn are my first two. And Lucas is funny because he was, in my mind, I stole the name from Lucas Miller 100%. but gave him more of the personality of Taco, which was a disaster, and I love him. And Lynn was spelled with a Y and two N because it's not plagiarism if it's not spelled the same.
Inspired by, of course,
Lin-Manuel Miranda, my hero.
Yeah, come on.
my absolute hero. But yes, those are my first two D&D characters. I kind of hit my stride after, admittedly. I think after Caleb, I kind of hit my stride. I think 2019 was the year of me coming up with characters that I genuinely remember, enjoy, jitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wrapping up with a bit, 2019 was a weird year.
Oh, fuck, dude, it sure was.
Okay, so this was what it was. 2019 was the year of shit. 2020 is the year of crit.
Ha ha ha. Well, on a posy note, together, let's come up with like 3 of the best things that happened in 2019 and on a posy. Because I feel like because this is the end of the year, there was so much cynicism about everything. So 3 posy things. I will say, for me, my best experience with D&D, as much as I've loved everything, was the Small Terrible Dragonborn stream charity event. That was awesome. I mean, I got jitter out of it. Heather became a cast member in campaign 2 out of it. Fuck, so much good. Thank you, Hallie. We love you very much. And we hope to have you someday on 3DMs. If you're listening, which I doubt. So that was my best thing, I think. And it's nice because it was D&D. It was with my friends because we did a Frostwalkers episode on there. And I got a character out of it, Jitter. So every time I see Jitter, all the vibes from that weekend back. That's good. It's like weirdly having a postcard.
Your character is your postcard.
It's weird because funny story. I made Jitter. His name is Jitter because it's a synonym for Twitch. That was the joke character I was going, and then he became the emotional of his card.
Fuck! I didn't get that until now.
Yep, Jitter's name is Jitter because it's for Twitch. His name was going to be Fidget, and then I remembered my friend Mocha has a bird boy OC named Fidget, so I went back to the drawing. And I ended up with Jitter.
Well, good enough.
Yep. So that's mine.
All right. I think we are ready to close up.
Alrighty.
Well, thank you all for listening. Really appreciate it. We hope more of this in the future, but until then, this has been us signing off. Should we do our social media plugs?
Yeah, I'll put them in the show notes, but if you're here, then I don't need mine.
I am Spyglass Realms on basically everywhere. Lance?
I am Lance the Lanced, or 20SA for 20-Sided Adventures.
We love you guys. Thank you for everything in 2019, and even though our shit definitely, wasn't always perfect, here's to everything being a little bit brighter next year. Bye, everybody!
Adios, stay moist!